This is Goldie, a chimpanzee from the Gombe National Park. Life is good for Goldie. He and a couple of his pals recently split up from their original tribe to form a new one down south. Goldie is a young chimp in his prime, just hanging out on a tree, living life and eating a banana. Oh, look, some of his old tribe mates have come to see him.
They seem upset.
I'm sure they're just displaying dominance. In the 1960s, the desire to study our distant relatives brought many bright-eyed researchers led by Jane Goodall to Gombe. Now, the young and hopeful students went to the national park with the impression that chimps are docile vegetarians, but left with the knowledge that chimpanzees are actually extremely territorial, the furthest thing from herbivores, and more than capable of employing ruthless military tactics to disband and eliminate any rivals. But what exactly was the incident that pushed the Gombe chimps to start a 4-year-long conflict amongst each other? Because although raids and noisy shows of force are common among chimpanzees, slowly and meticulously killing off single males from rival tribes is abnormal to say the least. Well, here's a possible explanation for that. Primates tend to avoid humans, so to get closer to them, researchers established banana feeding stations. This allowed never-before-seen inter-chimp behavior to be observed. However, going into feeding stations and eating up to 40 bananas a day is not normal primate behavior.
That's fine. We'll just get rid of some of the stations so the chimps aren't too reliant on us.
Little did they know, those chimps had grown quite accustomed to this pampered lifestyle. And the now fewer resources increased tensions in the group, which led to the once 25-strong Kasakela tribe to split in two. Kasakela in the north, with Humphrey, Jomio, Sherry, Everett, Rudolph, all led by Feigen, and Kahama in the south, with Goldie, Dee, Goliath, Sniff, Willy Wally, all led by Charlie. Hostility grew between them, but Kasakela and Kahama mostly stayed in their own territories. Only older males that remembered the times of brotherhood and unity kept in touch. Goldie's death was punishment for crossing into Kasakela territory. He was the first victim, but certainly not the last. Next on the chopping block was Dee. Now, Dee was scavenging in the north with 3 other chimps, but was left behind because he was slow and sick and stupid, and no one liked him.
The Kasakela really didn't like him either, so they began to beat him off in a circle. They formed a circle around him and beat him up for 20 minutes. He survived, but was greatly injured and not seen after the assault.
This was the second death in the span of 2 months. After that, there was mutual animosity but relative peace for about a year, until a group of 5 Kasakela chimps led by Feigen spotted Old Man Goliath once again in their territory. Prior to the conflict, Goliath was a respective elder, but war spares no one.
The 5 apes descended upon Goliath and turned his old chimp body into a boppet. Goliath was not seen again after this.
Female chimps were also not spared in this war. Madam B was tending to her daughters when bam, Kasakela males attacked her and her offspring. They survived the first time, shame on the Kasakela males. But then it happened a second time. Shame on you, Madam B, because the third time, her daughters were kidnapped and assimilated by the rival tribe. This happened not even a month after Goliath's death.
At this point, all but 3 Kahama males remained. Charlie, my boy Sniff, and Willy Wally. But he really doesn't count because he has polio. Yeah, that's right. Primates can't get polio. Wake up, it's 2025. Jesus. Also, rats can get polio, but that only happens when humans infect them. Payback from the Black Plague. It's May 1977. About 4 years have passed since the first assault.
Local fishermen reported sounds of fierce fighting and saw 5 male chimps pass by. 2 days later, Charlie was found by the Kama stream. After his death, Willy Wally could not be located. Only 1 chimp remaining. Sniff is alone. It wasn't long before the Kasakela caught him. And by the time they were done, he was so badly injured, even Jane Goodall, this chick, huge monkey lover, thought euthanasia would be best for him. That being said, the field assistants could not locate Sniff after the assault, but his corpse was found 4 days later. Kasakela had completely erased the rival tribe, once their own chimp mates, off the map. Any offspring was either assimilated by them, eaten by leopards, or cannibalized. After 4 years, 4 months, 4 weeks, and 1 day, war was over. The territory reclaimed by Kasakela, 6 chimpanzees killed, 4 missing, presumed to be dead, and 1 researcher left with night terrors for the rest of her life. So what can we learn from the Gombe Chimpanzee War? Well, if you give a chimpanzee a banana, it's gonna throw rocks and feces at you, eat babies, and kill their competition. Thank you, Goblin, for being a guest. Now get the fuck out of my studio. Before I leave you, this video is a collaboration with Raygasm, who makes Goblin Guide, one of the most original animated educational series I've seen on YouTube in a while. And we also made another video on his channel, on modern day torture methods. So go watch it, and if it gets at least 10k views, I will grant him his freedom back.